All right, we are live.
Hey guys, welcome to the webinar today. My name is Ron Gielak. I'm here with my buddy Justice Egan and multiple six-figure earner and just Facebook marketing expert. I'm really excited for this training. If you guys have been on the email list, you know I've been talking about it for a couple weeks now. We've been doing a lot of trainings with Justice, and now is finally it. Today we're going to be learning how to get 2 to 5 people direct messaging you every single day that are interested in your business, want what you have. And I'm just pumped for this because Justice and I used to live like down the road from each other. And we get coffee pretty regularly, and he first showed me this strategy in 2017. So I first used it then, saw a lot of success with it. Used it for a few other things and profited over $20,000 using the strategy. So I am a personal believer. I'm using it right now currently as we speak, and I'm getting very cheap and some free leads using this strategy. So I'm super excited. Justice, how's it going, brother?
Going great, man. I'm so pumped to be here. Excited to come out and teach your people. I got some great stuff here tonight. I mean, we've got some really valuable content. I'm a believer that anybody that's showing up that's here today, when you stick with us through the webinar, you're going to walk away with enough knowledge to implement and get results right after the webinar.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, I know you guys, I want to be considerate of your time, so I'm not going to, I'll go ahead and shut up and hand it over to Justice to share this strategy with us.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, man, for having me out. Always honored to come out and participate in anything with you. I mean, we go way back here, and guys, if you're following Ron, you're in the right place. I mean, Ron is a super talented dude, super knowledgeable marketer and coach, and will definitely help you get your business to the next level. So what I want to do is I want to go down and let me know down in the questions box. I want you to find that questions box. Let me know if you can hear me and see my screen. All right, head over to the questions. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can see my screen, we should be good to go. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here. I also want to know that you guys can find the questions box. That's where I'm going to do my chat here today. So you'll see the questions. Head over there and let me know. I see 111. Yes, sounds good. Awesome. So let's dive into today's training, where we're going to cover how to get 2 to 5 ready to buy prospects, actually direct messaging you every single day using my new social testimonial profits strategy, all without wasting a minute prospecting, tons of time creating content, or even needing a website. Now, I'm just curious, how would it feel if you could get high quality prospects reaching out to you, asking about your product, your service, your opportunity whenever you want it? What would it feel like to increase sales or enrollments in your business on demand? I mean, I'm talking whenever you want it. What if you were able to do it all without prospecting strangers in person or on social media, without spending hours each day creating content, without even needing complicated funnels or websites? I'm just curious, what would that be worth to you? And feel free to head over in the comments and let me know. If the answer is priceless, then you are in the right place, because what I'm going to teach you flat out works. And people have very happily paid me thousands of dollars to come to workshops to teach them this strategy. In fact, this strategy is so powerful and it's helped so many people. I've been invited to some of the highest level masterminds in our industry. The middle picture there is me teaching this strategy, and particularly this form of my framework for storytelling at Tanya Eliza's Ultimate Branding Experience, a special mastermind where people paid thousands and thousands of dollars to attend. On the left, I was actually invited out by a friend of mine and an unbelievable entrepreneur, Ray Higdon, common connection of both Ron and mine. And he has a high-level mastermind where students pay between $20,000 and over $50,000 to work with him for a year. And he holds these little workshops, and he actually asked me to come out and be the featured trainer to share this strategy. Okay, and everybody in the room was blown away. So you're in for a treat here tonight. In fact, you're going to learn some things that I did not even teach in those environments. Now, if you've ever struggled to consistently produce online leads, sales, signups in your business, and you always feel like you're missing something or running on some marketing hamster wheel to get the results you desire, I know exactly how you feel. You see, if we're meeting for the first time, I haven't always been an online marketer, right? I spent 17 years in the restaurant business working the plan. Right? I did the thing. I was making all this sacrifice. I was working like crazy. And then I lost a job. And after a few months, I realized I didn't have a whole lot to show for all those sacrifices. So I went back to waiting tables, and the home-based business industry found me. Somebody handed me a business card. It was like, hey, check out this opportunity. I said, I need to do something different. And that was like my gateway into entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, I lacked confidence and skills, and I went on to make a whopping $98 in my first 10 months. And no, that is not a typo. Maybe I'm a slow learner. I don't know what it was, but I certainly did not get off to a gangbusters start. One day, I actually had an injury that put me out of work. And I was finding myself going further and further into debt. I was stuck in a chair up at my dad's house with a walker by my side. I could barely get around. I thought I was going to have to get back surgery. I thought I was going to go bankrupt. And I just kind of had enough. I decided I was going to open a borrowed computer and I was going to start searching for answers. I wanted to learn how to grow my business online. Now, I had a lot of guts to do that because at the end of the day, I was still rocking a flip phone when the iPhone 4S was out. And, at the time, that was where we were at in the whole world of smartphones. And I just was not an adopter of technology. So it was a real stretch for me, but I wanted change. I knew I needed change. And very interestingly, I jumped on a webinar, much like the webinar you're on here today, and it opened my mind to possibility. And I saw opportunity, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I decided to commit, to jump, to go all in. And the result is the next day, the universe decided to test me. I got a phone call and had an amazing, amazing job offered to me. I would consider it my dream job. And the salary was going to solve my problems, and I was going to have health insurance again, and all of these wonderful things. But something the night before when I was on that webinar inside me had changed. I had switched, I had flipped. And I called the person back and I said, you know what, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't take this job. You're gonna have to give it to someone else because I'm not the same person that you interviewed. And I always say that was the day that I started my business. And that's also when I began to learn how to attract qualified prospects using the internet, including the one strategy that changed everything for me, which you're going to learn tonight when you stick with me to the end of this webinar. Now, the results since learning this stuff have been that I've become a top 10 affiliate all time in a program out of over 100,000 people. Personally enrolled over 1,000 people into different network marketing and affiliate marketing programs. I produced millions of dollars in online sales, including over $1 million in my own products and services. Okay, I've topped sales leaderboards, become a sought after speaker, helped hundreds of entrepreneurs from different niches create breakthrough results, and I've done it all without ever pursuing a prospect, hard closing, or doing anything that felt weird or salesy. Now, to prove a little bit of this, right, top 10 all time, speaking on stages. This was my big breakthrough moment when I enrolled 11 people into my network marketing company at this time in one night. Had a program I was referring 40, 50, 60 people per month. Had my first $100,000 month in 2017. Surpassed it with a $144,000 month not much further down the road. And then, I decided I was going to take this amazing strategy. I was going to start to share it with the world. I was really going to expand my coaching and training business and was able to generate $254,000 in just 13 days. Obviously, life changed in that very moment. We went off and celebrated. I was able to take my friends and top producers on a catamaran tour of the Greek islands for 7 days. We had a skipper and a hostess that cooked meals for us on the boat, and we were at a new island every night. A couple of us actually stayed around for a total of 22 days in Greece, experiencing things that I just didn't think were ever going to be possible in my life. In fact, since learning these strategies, life has fundamentally changed. You see, before, I did not understand what it was like to have the power of choice in your life, to be able to go out and experiencing things when you want to. All over the world, really, with some of my amazing friends and amazing business owners, ziplining with my bud Ray Higdon, hanging in Cabo down bottom right with my friends Julie Burke and Kate McShay, and up top left, tasting tequila with my bud Adam Chandler, and in the bottom left, I love that picture because Uncle Justice got to show up around his nieces whenever he wanted. When I lived down by Ron in Jersey, I mean, my nieces, they just didn't know life without me being at their door multiple times a week. And spending that kind of time with family just wasn't something that was in the cards up until I learned these skills. Now, you might be looking at this and say, well, that's great, Justice, but that's your life. I've got my life. It's all well and good. I'm not sharing this with you to have you look at my life and go, oh my goodness, look how cool Justice's life is. I share this with you because I want you to understand that The shift for me came on a webinar just like this. Someone showed me a way, and it opened my mind enough to possibility that I said, hey, I'm going to go for this. And that was the catalyst. That was the decision. That was the day that the first domino fell and led to a life that was fundamentally different than anything I thought I could experience. Okay. So the reason I share this is because my goal tonight is to open your mind to possibility, to help you commit, to help you make a decision, to take the step that will ultimately be the catalyst for a new and better future. Now, here's some of what you're going to learn today. I'm going to walk you through a shockingly simple marketing strategy that you'll be able to implement after this webinar to get people to talk to as soon as this time tomorrow. I'm going to share with you the 3 key components to creating a simple Facebook profits post that'll create a flood of responses for you from perfect strangers who want to know more about your product, service, or opportunity. I'm going to show you how to break down what I call your no-lose scenario. So your time spent in business can help you rake in prospects with little to no downside. And I'm going to show you the exact point and click steps to get these leads as soon as this time tomorrow with no prospecting, no content, and even no website. Now, I've got a question for you. I need to ask a little bit of permission. You see, I want to make sure that I show you all of this and that you walk away knowing exactly what it takes to go out and get results. That some of you, if you take action, can have results by a day or 2 from now. I mean, if you take action tonight, you can have results by tomorrow. But to do that, I might have to go a little longer than your normal webinar. I know that you might be used to like these 50, 60-minute webinars with vaguely shrouded theory and people kind of giving you some fluff-filled stuff out there. I'm sure, I know that's not what Ron provides, but I'm sure Ron's webinars and this webinar are not the only webinars you've ever been on. So what I want your permission. Are you cool if we go if we go a little over, if we go an hour and 15, an hour 20 with the content and really make sure that you get the goods and that you've got a clear picture, plus you get to watch over my shoulder and see how to implement what I'm going to teach you. Go on down in the comments and give me a yes while I take a quick sip of water here, keep my voice. Okay, cool. I see yes. That would be awesome. Yes, totally cool. Wonderful. Oh, so how am I going to do this tonight? I'm going to teach you by sharing excerpts from my new and improved Social Testimonial Profits course. Okay, we recently are updated and are rolling out this new and improved version of my most popular course ever, and a course that's helped more people create more results in their business than just about anything I've ever seen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the material out of this course and share it with you here tonight. Now, I want you to understand that over the past few years, I've not only experienced life-changing results myself, but I've had the privilege of coaching and training and teaching thousands of entrepreneurs on how to create breakthrough online in their businesses with more leverage and time freedom. It's become crystal clear that these challenges that entrepreneurs face, are pretty much the same across the board. And I want to know if these sound familiar to you, because I want to know what the audience is like, where everybody's at that I'm going to be teaching here tonight. Maybe you spend all your time talking to all the wrong people. It feels like you can't find prospects who see value in your product, your service, your opportunity. Possibly. Maybe your market's burnt out and you're left with no option but to start bugging friends and family to grow your business, or awkwardly breaking the ice with total strangers to try and drum up sales. Maybe you've tried marketing your business online, but you get bogged down in all the techie, confusing stuff and you feel like you're getting nowhere. Or you're one of those people who get the online thing. The only problem is you can't find time to blog, create videos, or spend hours prospecting on social media each day. And what I'm hearing more and more is people saying, hey, Justice, it's just way more crowded out there. Everyone has something for sale, and it's 10 times harder to get the attention of my prospects in this noisy online world. How many of you can relate just a little bit? Head on over to the comments. Let me know if you can relate to any of these. Maybe you can relate to all of them. I want to know if the material I'm going to share is going to hit home for those of you who are on here with us. Okay, fortunately, if you can relate to any of those, there is a solution. You see, it's what I call social testimonial profits. And profits is an acronym for a type of post that is going to be wildly irresistible to your perfect prospects online, plus the type of post that Facebook loves to put out there in front of people. So here's how it works. We choose a story of results. Somebody, it could be us, could be someone else who's gotten a result with our product or service opportunity. We craft a profits post, and I'm going to share with you what that is. We choose a distribution method to get that profits post out in front of the right people. Now that can be paid or organic. I'm going to share with you a specific paid strategy tonight. Prospects then raise their hand because they say they read what you wrote and they say, listen, I'm totally interested in this. You expose them to your product, service, or opportunity that they're already interested in, and you close more sales. And with the method I'm going to share with you tonight, this can happen in as little as 24 hours. Now, for some of you, ads may be familiar. For some of you, Facebook ads may not be familiar. I want to share with you a quick thought on ads. You see, I was sitting on an experts panel at a major internet marketing event, and I was asked by someone in the audience, if you could go back and do anything differently, what would you do? And I said, well, listen, when I got started, I was super broke. I mean, I was moving light bulbs around the house. I was taking cold showers because my hot water heater broke. I had a friend of mine stay on my couch in a one-bedroom condo for 2 months just to help offset some of the stuff. And he was in between places. And it was like, I mean, there was no room whatsoever. And so I saw ads as an expense. I did not understand they were an investment. You see, ads really, the goal is to put $1 in and get $2 out. And the power of it is that you can actually control the outcome. In other words, you can turn them on whenever you want. And so had I known that back then, had I understood what ads can really do for business, had I understood that ads are an investment that are designed to provide a return, and that you can actually control the amount of people that see your message and turn it up and turn it up and turn it up, well, I would have advertised right away. And it doesn't matter how broke I was, how new I was, how anything I was, I would have advertised right out of the gates, because putting $1 in and getting $2 out would have allowed me to solve my problems a whole lot faster and to reach my goals and the promised land a whole lot faster. Now, here's some shocking Facebook statistics. Okay, over 2 billion monthly active users are on Facebook, over 1 billion daily active users. They had 500,000 new users daily. That means 6 new profiles per second. But that's not what makes them so great for advertising. You see, what makes Facebook so great for advertising is that they're like the most advanced digital survey the world has ever known. And their value is primarily driven by how much they can find out about their users. So here's what Facebook knows about you, and this is just some of it. Your favorite clothing brands, what you post on your wall, when you change jobs, your current mood, your website, your email address, your family members, right? Previous relationships, the sports teams you like, videos you watch, networks you're part of, so on and so forth. And some people may say, well, Justice, man, that's kind of Big Brother-ish. It's a little weird. It makes me a little uncomfortable. But here I am going, hey, wait a second. What's so cool about this is Facebook's able to really provide me an experience that's catered to what I want. What's even cooler about it as a business owner is that I know that it's undeniable that Facebook knows exactly who the people are that want your product, your service, your opportunity with no convincing necessary. In fact, they'll even let you put your profits post smack dab into the middle of your perfect prospects newsfeed for pennies. There's just one problem. No one comes to Facebook to be advertised or sold stuff. You see, in fact, when it comes to Facebook, business owners are doing things like tagging friends and family and acquaintances in posts, right? Using a company name or even logo if you're in like the direct sales network marketing space when you're marketing, sending unsolicited messages to people about business, spamming Facebook groups that are filled with other people who are spamming Facebook groups, posting links to websites and all types of promotional posts, thinking that people are going to respond, running ads that look out of place, that are poorly targeted, that are pitchy, that create resistance. If you've done any of this, you know as well as I do that not only do people not like it, but it just doesn't work. Now for the good news. Everyone on social media loves a great picture and an inspirational story. And that's where social testimonial profits comes in. I'm going to show you a special framework to using nothing more than a picture and a story of results to attract people each and every day. And in fact, in this case, to get them direct messaging you about your business every day, predictably, day after day. So you might be wondering, but Justice, that's all well and good for some people. Can social testimonial profits work for me? I mean, is it worth it to stick with me through this webinar? Well, Pedro used social testimonial profits and went from struggling for 2 years to enrolling 9 new people in 30 days. Lisa Thompson sent out 42 samples in her first 10 days using this. Antonio Thompson sponsored 2 new people, brought on 3 new coaching clients, all in just 4 days. Eric Freeman made 8 new sales in his first 2 weeks, working just an hour per day. Adam Chandler made 11 new sales as soon as he implemented this. Michael Lapatino was setting up appointments in just 8 hours. Chris Dalgard woke up to 5 people requesting information. He says, what a pleasant surprise. Imperfect action wins again. I want you to think about this. What if you got off this webinar and at the end you got off this webinar, you stayed on this webinar through the end, but what if afterwards you implemented what you taught here and you were able to wake up tomorrow and say something like this? What a pleasant surprise. I had 5 people requesting information from me. Imperfect action wins again. How great would that feel? Well, here's the deal. I mean, I've helped tons and tons, countless students get results with social testimonial profits. And a few weeks ago, I had a light bulb moment and just decided to start running some tests. Okay. Why did I want to run tests? Because I had a light bulb moment after understanding something that had been out there for a little while. I'd heard this over and over and over. But, from the words of Mark Zuckerberg, the future of Facebook is messaging. Okay. And what's really interesting is, I don't know if you noticed this, but anytime Mark Zuckerberg says something is the future of Facebook or wants to make something happen, he makes it happen. Okay. And a perfect example is when he went out and he offered I think he offered billions for Snapchat, 3.5 billion, something like that. He offered Snapchat to buy them and they turned it down. And what did Zuckerberg do? He turned around and he pushed Instagram stories and Facebook stories and totally dominated Snapchat. Okay. When Zuckerberg wants to move the marketplace and send it in a direction, that's what he does. Right now, he's creating a platform that's going to compete with Zoom, as people are using Zoom like crazy right now. So Messenger is the future. It's one of those downloaded apps out there. It's really, really powerful for marketing. And now, granted, Zuckerberg says all that, but here's what I love about it. I love the fact that my little 1,800 person Messenger list outperforms an email list that's got like 13,000 subscribers on it. I love that because it gets huge open rates and everybody clicks and people are super engaged. Interestingly, people respond in Messenger in ways that they just really never allowed marketers and business owners to communicate with them through text message. Okay, that just never caught on, but this is red hot. Now, even cooler is that I can send there's a feature called sponsored message that nobody seems to use, and it is so unbelievable that I can actually craft a message that I want to deliver right into the inbox of anyone who is engaged with my Messenger at any point in the last year. I can craft a message and I can pay Facebook to deliver that direct message right to their inbox, and it costs pennies. Okay, it costs, to deliver it to 1,000 people right into their inbox and have, say, 80 to 90% of them open it and most of them respond to it, it would cost you about between $10 and $20. Unbelievable. So I reached out to Pedro, who was one of the original case studies with my social testimonial profits and enrolled 9 new people and all that great stuff. And I said, here's what's happening. Pedro, I want you to go grab one of your stories and I want you to go out there and I want you to set your profits post up this way and I want you to distribute it this way and let's see what happens. And so he took this story post about a travel scenario. He had a travel product he promoted, and we're going to walk through how to craft these posts so that they're highly, highly, highly attractive to the people that you want to work with. And what happened for him? Well, he got 209 people messaging him in just 2 weeks, and it only cost $1.20 for every single person that direct messaged him. Now, mind you, these are not people that he messaged and they messaged him back. These are people, strangers, that are reaching out to him through Messenger because they want to know about this travel deal that he's got, right? The coolest part is after he built that list of 209 people, he went over and he had a little thing that engaged him with a little promotion, or he wanted to reopen a conversation. And so he sent what's called a sponsored message out. It cost him $3.89 to reach a bunch of people and to reopen 14 conversations, of which many turned into customers. How cool is that? Now, we've been running tests with other students as well, and we're getting notifications all the time that people are coming to people's Messenger, strangers, direct messaging them saying, hey, yes, I want to know more. Hey, yes, I'm interested. Hey, it's great to connect. I want to know more. Reach back out to me. So after thousands of hours spent helping business owners generate millions of dollars in sales using social testimonial profits, and I'll show you the variety of ways that we use this strategy to get results tonight, I'm going to break it all down in 5 simple steps and show you how you can actually use it with Messenger to get total strangers who are your ideal customers reaching out. So here's what I want you to do next. I want you to shut down distractions. Okay, I want you to get out a notepad, pay attention and suspend your disbelief. I want everybody to encourage you to quiet that voice in your head if it comes up and says like, oh, well, not sure if this will work for my kind of business, or well, I don't run ads, or I don't have a budget, or I'm not a writer. See, the voice that tells us that stuff is not a voice that wants us to excel to new places. It is a voice that wants to keep us right where we're at. And if you're here tonight, my guess is that you're looking to take business and life to some place new. Well, that voice is not going to help you get there, but what I share with you here tonight can. So I'm going to take another sip here, keep my voice. I want you to go into the questions. I want you to let me know that you're totally ready, that you're ready to rock, that you got your pen ready, you got your good, positive, open-minded approach or viewpoint ready, and we're going to rock into this, and I'm going to share with you. I'm going to teach you how to make it happen. Cool. Right over in the questions box, guys. Let's see. Yes, totally ready. Let's rock. Let's do it. Awesome. So here's the deal. Social Testimonial Profits 101. And this is why these ads work so well. First of all, we've all heard that facts tell and stories sell. But what's so cool about this is what we don't know is that Facebook has a brain, okay? Facebook has artificial intelligence, and we want to send little signals to that artificial intelligence that have Facebook say, we're going to give this person what they want. And what's so cool about stories is they don't create resistance. You see this post over here, it does not look like it's an ad. It doesn't have all the marketing speak. And so what happens is a person, our prospect, sees themselves in the opening of the story, and they click that little continue reading or see more, and it sends a little signal to Facebook's brain that says, hey, this is a really positive post that people are enjoying. Plus, when people read a story, they stay on a post longer, and that sends a signal to Facebook's brain as well. Now, when it comes to your prospects, and this is a writer downer right here, what you want to understand is that people don't listen to your solution, about your product, about your opportunity until they feel understood. In other words, if you had a problem that you wanted to solve, and a coworker or a friend said to you, oh, well, here's what you should do. You should do this, you should do that, you should do this. But you felt like they didn't understand what you were actually going through. Like they didn't understand some of the roadblocks, the challenges that you were facing. Their life is different, so it's easy for them to say on and on and on. How many of us have ever had that kind of experience where we're like, yeah, no, thank you, but you don't get it, okay? And that's what your prospects feel like all the time. And they actually don't open their ears until they feel like people, like somewhat like they're understood by you, like you understand what they're going through. So what we want to do for our profits post here is we want to choose one of three possible goals. We want to get someone into Messenger, we want to get someone to comment, and that's more of an organic approach, or we want to get people to opt into a website. Now, I love the third approach. I've got clients that use the second approach like crazy, but we are going to focus on the first approach because it is so cool. You don't need a website, and you've got Messenger and the power of the future of Facebook. This is your opportunity to get ahead of the curve and ahead of your competition. Now, the first step is to know your audience. You want to figure out who your ideal customer is and what you know about them. You want to list out their problems, their concerns, their pains, their dreams, their desires. What is it that keeps this person up at night? So I want you to think, who is a fictitious example of the ideal person for you to work with? I mean, maybe it's a combination of a few different people that you already work with or do business with, or maybe it's someone that you'd love to do business with. Maybe it's someone that you've never met, but or resembles someone you've never met, but the ideal person that you'd love to attract and what you're looking for. Then I want you to imagine that you get to have a conversation with that person and they get to tell you what their problems and pains are. What are the things that are keeping them up, tossing and turning? What are the reasons, the roadblocks, the things that are standing in their way of getting where they want to go? What's the outcome that they want? What's the future that they're looking for? Then you want to list all the biggest potential objections they'll likely have specific to what you're offering. Now, time and money are always big objections, but a lot of times people have other assumptions and knee-jerk reactions that they jump to, and we can actually eliminate those through this strategy before they ever come up. You then want to determine their language. How do they talk? What are their buzzwords? And I love this magazine cover over here because it's a great example of speaking to a market with their buzzwords. You can see look great naked, flat belly foods, fast toning moves, cellulite blasters, in bikini stress, the perfect swimsuit for your body. One of the best ways to learn the language and the hot buttons of your perfect prospect is in the magazine aisle, okay? Because these magazines need to grab your attention up front, and they're gonna successfully do it, and they've got huge budgets and teams of people that go out there and do the research ahead of time. So that's a great little hack right there, all right? So we're actually gonna use, we're gonna use throughout this presentation the example of someone who might pick up this magazine because of all of this stuff, might wanna end bikini stress, maybe a busy mom who wants to get bikini ready for the summer, but just isn't finding a way to do it, and what they're trying isn't working. Step 2 is we need to gather info for our profits post. Now, this is going to be a story of result. We're going to tell a story of result of someone who resembles your perfect prospect. So once you know what your perfect prospect is going through and what they want, you want to think of a person who's gotten the results, who was where they were and now is where they want to be. Do you have that person in mind? It could be you, could be someone else, okay? And then we're going to write out a post, and the post doesn't have to go in this exact order, but it's going to have some or all of these elements. Typically, the head character in your post, the person you are writing about that has had a transformation, started with a problem, pain, and past experiences. Okay, things they tried, problems they had, pains those problems caused, and the past experiences associated with that, and the things they tried to solve it that didn't work. So a problem is like, hey, I have a job where I work too much. It keeps me, I'm there 60, 70 hours a week, and it keeps me from being getting to my kids' baseball game or my daughter's dance recital. The pain is it makes me feel like an absent parent, and I'm worried that I'm setting a bad example for my kids, and I'm stressed out and I never have time for myself. The past experiences might be like, I've looked for other jobs, I've searched for other jobs, but nothing's going to pay me this salary and and be close enough to home. So there's nothing else out there. I've tried, I've looked, I've gone to headhunters, I've searched the paper far and wide. That's what that is, right? Roadblock and reason is the big thing standing in between a person and what they want. Okay, maybe it's like, well, I've got my family responsibilities, I just cannot go to another job. The outcome they want is a different scenario. Okay, something better. What is it? You're gonna write, you're gonna figure it out. Now, what is the outcome that this person in your story got that is identical or similar to the outcome that your perfect prospect wants? See, what we're ultimately doing is we're using the story of result to tell our perfect prospect story back to them. So they have a pain, problem, past experience, they've got a roadblock or reason why they can't get the outcome they want. And then if they get the outcome, there's a good future for them. And what is it? What does it look like? If they don't, there's a bad future. And what does it look like? Then what happens for the person who gets a result? So the person who got a result that you're thinking of, they had a pain, problem, past experience, there was a roadblock in their way, there was an outcome they wanted. If they got that outcome, they would have a great future, and they just weren't getting there until one day, somebody or something made an introduction. There was a gap that was bridged. They found something, they stumbled on it, they met someone, they were on Facebook, someone, a stranger told them something in a coffee shop, whatever it is. They introduced them to a teacher or teaching. Okay, now teacher is not necessarily human. A book could be a teacher, an audio could be a teacher, but it's a new set of information. Open this person's mind to new possibility as to how they could solve their problems, get past their roadblocks, and get the outcome they want. And ultimately, they were handed a new solution, something that was different than what they tried in the past. And voila, guess what? They enjoyed the future that they wanted, and also that your perfect prospect wanted. Now, your post doesn't have to have all of these, but what's important is anything outside of these likely doesn't belong. So once you kind of figure that out, we're going to start to craft this post. I'm going to do a fill in the blank example with you shortly so you can see how formulaic and how easy it can be. But the first thing you want to do is choose an attention grabbing picture. You want to think engagement, right? I mean, this is a picture that you think would look normal on Facebook, but would grab enough attention and get engagement. Think fun, think exciting, think lifestyle. Now, it doesn't have to be your picture, but nothing stock, nothing with words on it. We don't want anything that's going to create resistance and have people feel like, hey, another person is pitching them out there on Facebook. Now, very interestingly, I mean, these pictures are both great examples. The one from Greece I use all the time. This picture on the right, my friends Andrew and Kate. Now, that was a post I wrote about them. So it wasn't even my story and it wasn't even my picture. And guess what? That post generated $80,000 in sales in its lifetime. Okay, and then what's the great about the picture? Well, it grabs attention. It's kind of funny. It creates a lot of curiosity. It's going to get engagement. Here's what it doesn't say. It doesn't scream, "I've got something for sale." Okay, so that's what you want to think about. If you could tie the picture into the story, even better. Now, the first key component of the three to our profits post is the hook. Okay, this is the first few sentences, and this is where the person on Facebook, we need them to look at the picture and stop scroll, and what we write is going to determine whether they continue reading or not. So when we sit down and we really understand who our perfect prospect is, who we want to attract, and we really understand the pain they're going through or the outcome that they want, then we can incorporate that right into the first few sentences. And that's what we want to do. So I have one here that says, if you want to create sales fast while social distancing and you don't have months to work on complicated funnels, endure the slow grind of prospecting, et cetera, those are the pains they have. And the outcome they want are fast sales. So anybody who wants that and reads this is now going to have a new level of interest because it's going to speak to them. Okay, Pedro here talks about how his friend showed him how he could get his family to Disney, his kids to Disney. And now if you're somebody who wants to take your kids to Disney, if that's the outcome you want, well, this is going to catch your attention enough to click that see more button or that continue reading button and send that signal to Facebook that then gets Facebook wanting to show this post to more people. You want to use curiosity to move people forward. So you'll notice that there's usually like a break-off point or a ... that clicks to continue reading so that we can convince, so the reader wants to click that and send that nice little signal over to Facebook and we're off and running. Now, depending on the ad format, you may or may not write a headline. So down bottom right, we've got, Pedro had to write a headline for this ad, but you'll notice the ad on the left does not have a headline. The only thing that would make you even know it's an ad is that it says sponsored up underneath it. Now, I love this post by my friend Lisa, who actually led with pain. She told this story about the time that she, had this problem and she ended up in the hospital and her diabetes had created these big problems for her. And now she was facing some hard realities about what life might look like. And we'll share how that story plays out right here. Now, what's interesting is the next step, obviously, is to write your body. And I want to talk about the top half of these bullet points over here. And that is that you want to tell your prospect's story back to them through this testimonial story. And you use some or all of the profits pieces. And we want to appeal to hot buttons. And some universal hot buttons of people are time, money, and ease. Now, we'll get to the likability and trust in a moment. But if we get over here and read the story, I want you to hear the profits framework here. I didn't sleep that night thinking about my future. Insulin injections on a daily basis, deprived of foods that tasted good, especially when going out to eat with friends and family, trying to find time in my busy schedule to sit down and prepare foods, eating sugar-free snacks and drinks that didn't taste good, that created cravings. Can you relate? So those are all a bunch of potential pains, and it's explaining a future if that's the way things stay, right? The next morning, I met a dietitian. There was an introduction. I relayed my concerns, right? She told me the simple strategy, how to eat more, how to not get cravings. She gave me a 3-page sheet containing foods that I could find more at the grocery store with involving little to no meal prep. So that's the teaching. Here are the answers now inside this 3-page guide. Now, what's very interesting is if you know the objections that your prospects are going to have, because you think about it. So if she says, hey, I've got these great foods, then she says, well, my prospects are going to think, oh, I can't find those foods at my grocery store, or they're going to take a lot of time. I don't have time to make meals. So she says, I have this 3-page thing that contains foods that I could find easily in my grocery store, and they involve little to no meal prep. So boom, now we've handled those objections ahead of time. She goes, I swallowed my pride, yada, yada, right? Now, what is the outcome? I've got more energy, I'm sleeping better, I have no sugar crashes, not to mention I'm wearing clothes that I haven't been able to wear in 15 years. So the transformation happened, okay? Lisa, she had pains and problems, she had a big roadblock, and there was an outcome that she wanted, but she just couldn't see it. The future could be good or bad. Thank goodness she got an introduction. The dietitian came along, handed her some teaching, became the solution, and now she got the outcome she wants. She's living the future she wants. Now, here's something cool about Pedro. Pedro writes this story about this little social media guide, okay? And he gives it away through his profits post. And he says, well, I've got some good news to report. While I'm not yet sitting with my family on the beaches of the world, I'm finally generating leads, finally just generating some leads. Now, this is where we want to talk about influence and mental triggers. You see, there are some really powerful influence triggers that when you understand them, you can start to move masses online. I teach them in great depth in my Social Testimonial Profits course. We're going to talk about two of them here today, and that is likability and trust. See, when you are likable and when people trust you, they are way, 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 way more likely to take an action. Now, how do you create likability? Well, one of the ways to create it is to write like you speak. Okay, this is one of the fastest ways to create likability. You can go and just say like, hey, you can use your LOLs and you can use your own language and you can get out of that mindset of, hey, I got to be a great writer, I got to be grammatically correct, and just be yourself and write like you speak. That will make you likable. Now, we can build trust by being authentic and not being afraid to exhibit flaws. Now, there's other ways to build trust and likability. These are just examples. But how many of you on here have ever felt at times like, like you, how do I put it? Like you are not, you feel like you're not ready to be out there. Who would listen to me? Who am I to go out and write this story or to create this content or to go out there with a solution? I don't have big enough results yet. I don't have this going on yet. And here's what happens, okay? Sometimes we get frozen doing that, thinking like that. Now I want to ask you, I want you to ask yourself, have you ever seen the ads where people have these big polished fancy ads and they're in front of Lamborghinis and they're in front of, mansions and they're in front of all these different kind of things that show off their lifestyle? Well, I want you to notice something here. Pedro says, I'm not yet sitting with my family on the beaches of the world, but I'm just generating some leads. That's it. I'm a regular guy. I want you to ask yourself, okay, who do you trust more, the Lamborghini and mansion person, or do you trust Pedro more? And the answer I know is going to be Pedro. Why? Because, you can tell he's telling the truth because he's not afraid to exhibit the fact that he's a normal guy that doesn't have these huge results. So if you're letting this idea that you don't have big enough results, if you're letting that keep you from getting out there into the marketplace, you're missing a huge opportunity because your everydayness, your I'm just getting startedness can be a huge advantage when it comes to building trust. So this is what the body looks like. Then we've got call to action. At the end of your story, you want to be clear and tell them what to do next. And then you want to tell them what's going to happen when you do. And it's not mandatory, but it works great to have a valuable resource for people that solves a major problem. You see, the higher level of commitment that you ask for, the bigger ask, the less likely a stranger is to take it. Now, if it's your super warm market, whole different story. But a stranger, we're trying to turn online strangers into warm people, into action takers. And so you want to really get them in the door with something that's a little lower resistance. For example, if I have financial services or something like that, and somebody comes along and I say, hey, hit the send message button below and we'll jump on a call and I'll walk through your finances and we'll come up with a plan for you. Well, that's all well and good, but a stranger is not that likely to open their finances up to another stranger just through some Facebook post. Okay, so a lot of people are going to feel resistant to them, likely won't take the action. But if I say, hey, I put together a 5-part PDF that'll help you identify the weakest points of your investments so that you can solve these problems and fast track your way to retirement, grab it here for free. Well, now the person, that's lower resistance. The person doesn't have to get on the phone with you or anything. They can grab it and they can read it and they can be kind of secretive about it and just check it out and feel you out and decide if they trust you or not. And then down the road, they're going to take action, okay? Now, what happens when you tell people what to do after a great profits post, after you get this story formula right? Well, they listen. Here's an example of people commenting like crazy for clients, 204 people on one, 3.4 thousand people on another. Oh. Now, for me, I use these ads to drive people to webinars. How many of you came here through a profits post by Ron, through a picture of him and I in a coffee shop, right? Where he wrote this big, long story that really had the profits framework to it. Now, for me, when I go out there and I want to generate people to webinars, this is exactly what I use. You can see an existing ad right now that's bringing people to a webinar on this topic, and we've already got 100 people registered at just over $2 a piece. Now, if you know what the gurus out there are paying for webinar registrants, they're happy to pay $5 to $10. Some of them pay way more. And the reality is thanks to this profits posting formula and what I teach, you can go out there and undercut even the best. And we know that in Messenger, Pedro was able to get 209 messages for just $1.20 a piece. So what I want to do now, because I think it would be super helpful, is I want to go through a fill in the blank example of how to write a story in a way that follows the profits framework, right? Where we talk about pain and problem, where we talk about roadblock, where we talk about outcome, where we talk about future. And this way you can see how cookie cutter and formulaic this process is. So if you're not a writer, do not worry about it, because I'm going to show you that if you do your research and you get the information on your perfect prospect ahead of time, you understand the person you're trying to attract, you have everything you need. So here's an example of what it might look like to use a framework, a fill in the blank framework for a health and wellness story. I ran into my friend the other day and almost didn't recognize her. Now, the reason why we're using health and wellness stories is because we're using the end bikini stress example and the perfect prospect associated with that. So I ran into my friend the other day and almost didn't recognize her. How the heck did she experience this amazing outcome that your ideal customer wants? Fill in the blank, right? Put it in there, because you're the person that's got the story of result that you're using, and it's you or someone else, they likely have the outcome that your perfect prospect wants, because that's why you chose them. So that's what you're going to insert right here. Okay, surely she was, experiencing this pain or up against this roadblock, or experiencing this pain or up against this roadblock. Then she made an introduction. Here's what it sounds like with real language after you fill in the blanks. I ran into my friend at the local pool the other day and almost didn't recognize her. How did a mom of 3 carve out this bikini bod and literally take years off in the process, I asked. Surely she was spending hours at the gym or starving herself. Then she told me something I couldn't believe. Then she made an introduction. Can you hear that? Carve out this bikini bod and take years off. That's the big outcome. Now, when she told me that she was doing something simple, easy, low cost, and time friendly, because those are hot buttons, and combined it with the solution that had this great feature and produced this outcome and that outcome, I had to know more. When she told me that she was doing a few simple and easy exercises at home that took just 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, time and ease, okay, and had combined it with a nutritional product, this is going to be the solution, the magical new nutritional product that was all natural, eliminated her cravings, and actually saved her money on groceries. Huge benefit, also a hot button, money, okay? I had to know more. So then she says, thankfully, this is the call to action, she shared everything with me. And I'm now experiencing this simple, even understated outcome or future. Remember, we've already stated the big benefit, the big promise, the big outcome that your perfect prospect wants. Now we can say, hey, listen, I'm not yet sitting on the beaches of the world yet, right? Very trustworthy, but I do have this simple result. It's been such a gift that I want to share it with others. If you want to know how we're getting the outcome you want and experiencing your desired future without the pains and problems that you believe you're going to go through to do this, and it doesn't even have to deal with this roadblock or this past experience you have, simply hit the send message button below and I'll shoot you the details via message. So this is what it looks like. Thankfully, she shared everything with me and I'm already feeling great and starting to see results. What an understated result. This has been such a gift. I want to share it with others. If you want to know how we're shedding pounds fast and enjoying tons of energy without crash diets or rigorous exercise programs, truth be told, before this, I never stuck to a diet, makes us real. That's trust building. That's being authentic. Simply hit the send message button below and I'll shoot you the details via private message. Now I want you guys to go over in the comments and I want you to give me a big yes or me or light bulb if you see how formulaic storytelling is and how much this framework can take any niche, and really becomes fill in the blank. How many people was this helpful for? Let me take a sip of water here and I'll go check it out. Let's see. Me, wow, awesome, so helpful, love it. Well, here's what I want to do next, because I promised you that you would walk away from this knowing what to go do to get results. So the next thing you do after you have your story and you've got your picture and it speaks your perfect prospect story back to them through a testimonial of someone who's gotten a result that uses the profits framework, you want to go to Facebook and place your ad. Now, again, there's some organic options as well, but tonight we are focusing on getting people direct messaging you right away. Now, understand that Facebook has rules, and it's 100% your responsibility to become familiar with and follow their guidelines. You're going to need a fan or business page to execute this strategy. Now, the good news is it's free to have one, and it only takes about 5 minutes to set up. You can YouTube it, and a video is going to come along that there's tons of videos that'll show you exactly how to do it. So let's go over to Facebook right now, and I'm going to show you how it works in case you're not familiar. Now, you might be totally familiar, which is awesome. Even better. How many of you are familiar, have run ads, have tried ads, or are familiar with what it's at least like to set up ads and navigate the back office of Facebook? So I'm going to go to my ads manager. Mine might look a little different than yours. You might have to do a little YouTube search or something like that, because at the end of the day, Facebook looks different a lot of times. It looks different for everybody. Different features get rolled out at different times, and I've got a bunch of different ads accounts in here, so yours might look a little different. But no matter what, you're going to find this green button right here. It's going to happen. It's going to be back there no matter what your ads account looks like, and that's how you're going to start the process. And what we do with Facebook is we're actually going to tell Facebook what we want out of the ad. See, the way Facebook works is you ask them what you want, you tell them what you want to achieve with the ad. That's the campaign up here on the left. Then you tell them who you want them to serve this to and who you want to get the result from. And then down here in the ad, you tell them what you want the message in the ad to look like that you're going to serve in front of those people. So the first thing we do is we say, okay, what do I want to accomplish here? Because the way Facebook's brain works is when we tell them what we want to accomplish, they go out there and actually find the people within the audience that we gave them that are more likely to take that action. And then once people start taking that action, they start searching out people that resemble the people that are taking the action, so that essentially they get smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. So what we want right now is messages. That's what we want. We want 2 to 5 people direct messaging us every single day. And so we're going to go here to budget. And I don't know what your budget is, okay? I do, like basically whatever it is, it is. If you have a shoestring budget, then work on a shoestring budget. If you can spend a little more and learn more faster and get data faster and get results faster, then do that. I'm going to leave this at 25 for the sake of today. You can also budget lifetime, by the way. Now, there is an option to budget at the ad set level, but the future of Facebook is going to be budgeting right here when we're setting up the campaign. So that's the way you should do it. Now, what we find with our students is they pay anywhere from $1 to $7 a message, depending on the niche and depending on how narrow their audience is and all of that different stuff. What I see a lot is really in the $2 to $4 range, and that's what I'm going for personally all the time. Okay, so what we want to do if you want to get at least a few messages a day is we want to give them a daily budget of the higher end of that. So if we're like, okay, the max I want to pay for a message is $5, and I'll tell you how to do the math, guys. We're going to get to that in a moment. Okay, if the max is $5 that you want to pay for a message, then you want to put this at like $15 here a day minimum. You want to give them enough to get at least 3 messages a day, maybe even give them a little more if you can. So then we're going to leave all this the way it is. But if you got $5 a day and that's it to spend, then do it. Okay. My ad account got banned, Scott. So listen, you can Google around and see some different ways to possibly set up a new ad account, but any which way you can use the stories post that we're talking about here organically. Okay. And I'll share with you a little more about that later. So we put our budget, we hit continue. Now, this is who we're going to put this post in front of. Now, we want to get in front of moms who want to end bikini stress, and we want to tell them this great story of the mom we saw by the pool, who was our friend, who had got this rockin' body without rigorous exercises and without hitting the gym like crazy. And then we want to say, she showed me how, now I'm already getting results. And if you want to know how too, I just feel like I've got to share. You got to hit the send message button, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so we're going to go to United States. This is where we're going to narrow down to the age range we want. So I'm just going to say maybe 25 to say 48. And we go to, now you'll notice this number over here on the right is changing. It's 120 million right now. When I click women only, it's now going to become 60 million. So there's 60 million women between 25 and 48 in the United States on Facebook that we can put our message in front of. But I want to get more narrow than that. I don't want to put the message in front of just anybody. I want to give Facebook an audience where I know they can find my perfect prospects, who I'm speaking to. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in a fitness guru. Jillian Michaels, 3.7 million people are interested in Jillian Michaels. So when I put this in, you'll notice this number now goes down to 1.4 million people. Something we didn't do is identify if these are moms or not. Let's say we want to tell the story to moms. Heck, you could tell the story to specifically to women who gave birth in the last 2 years or 12 months, or people who have, kids that are over 18. Like Facebook's going to tell you. So we go here, and what we want to do is we want to narrow this audience. So we're 1.4 million people right now. We've got women in the United States between 25 and 48 who have shown an interest in Jillian Michaels. So I want you to think about those Venn diagrams in school where you overlay the circles and you deal with, what's left in the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to narrow this audience down, okay? So we're going to basically be dealing with this group right here in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse. I'm going to go to demographics, and you're going to see Facebook has all these demographics on people. And we're going to go into parents, and we're going to click all parents. Now they've got all the different age ranges here, but we're going to just click all parents. And now we've got 680,000 people that are women that like Jillian Michaels that are between 25 and 48 in the United States, but we know that they're moms. Now I can narrow this down even more, right? Maybe I put in here diet, and we see healthy diet food, people that have shown an interest in diet food. So let me click this. Now we're at 220,000 women. So if we stay there and we come down here, and we're going to leave everything else the same. We're going to leave things the way Facebook has them here. And you can read these little eyes all the time to learn what this different stuff means, okay? You just hover these eyes. But most of Facebook's settings are going to be designed to get you what you want, which is messages. We're going to leave this. We're going to optimize for replies. We're going to leave all of this. And now we're going to take those 220,000 people and we're going to tell Facebook what we want them to put in front of them. So we're going to go in here. And we've got either carousel or single image. That's our options. And we're going to go to media and we're going to click add image. Okay. Now I don't have an image that's just right for this audience, right? So I'm just going to put an image of me and my buddy Pedro in here, even though we're going in front of the bikini, the person that wants to end bikini stress. So you're going to have to use your imagination a little bit and assume that Pedro and I are not the perfect picture for ending bikini stress. But that could be a selfie of a mom, of this person that's writing the story and the mom they're talking about at the pool. It could be just a selfie of the mom. It could be like the mom and the kids, or it could be someone, like looking super fit. Like, what we want it to be is that natural engagement worthy picture that feels native to Facebook. So I'm going to upload a photo. I'm going to post my text in here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to format this. You want to go through and make sure that it's super readable, okay? And I'm not going to do this whole one, but you would go through and you would make sure that this is easy on the eyes and that someone can read it pretty easily. Now we've got our post, and you'll see this little messenger area here. You can write a headline. You can leave it blank if you want. Some ads, like I said, some of the ads I teach in Social Testimonial Profits don't need headlines, but we could put in here, how I ended my bikini stress. Man, there we go, right off the magazine cover. They did all the research. Why not, right? How I ended my bikini stress. And we've got the call to action is the send message button. And then this is what's so cool. Right inside Facebook. Now I use a third-party tool called ManyChat that I can connect with, so I can have a little more flexibility with my messages and what I do. But right inside Facebook, you can actually create a pre-set up messenger conversation. So you could say create chat, and you could say, hey, first name, it's going a little slow. I'm super excited. You requested our guide. Oh, my computer is running on slow here. There we go. You requested our guide on how to end bikini stress. Just curious, which answer below best applies to you? Okay, and you could go in here and you could actually create these little things and then have an automated response to go to them. I don't suggest that you like take it way overboard at the beginning. Really just open the conversation, but that's an option. Like, look at this. hi, excited, I'm super excited you're here, requested this, just curious which answer below best applies to you. And you could say like, you know, I'm close, but yada, yada, and then set up a response to that. You guys get that? Okay. So now look at this. I preview this in Messenger, and they're going to show me how close. You just heard my little Messenger ding, right? They're going to show me here we go, right? Hey, I'm super excited. Here's the whole conversation. And I can pick, someone could pick these and get a new response. But most importantly, they're in your Messenger now. And you can reach out to them and have a conversation with them. And you can later send sponsored messages and advertise to them once they come in. So we would just click save and finish. Okay. And then we're going to go over here. And you, again, you want to come up here and you want to preview it. You want to test it. And then you're just going to click confirm. And that's it. Now we've got this bikini story running out in front of moms who like Jillian Michaels, who also have shown an interest in diet food. We write this whole thing, they get, you know, they get to hit this send message button. Facebook starts to deliver it to people that are likely to send messages that are already within the parameters of what we set. And let me ask you a question. Do you think that some of those moms are going to respond? Give me a yes in the comments if you think some of those moms are going to respond. Right? And the coolest part is, once one does, and then two do, and then three do, what Facebook's going to do is they get to go find more moms that resemble them. Facebook's ad is going to get smarter and smarter and smarter. And then what's going to happen is you're just going to get more and more and more messages. And then you can literally turn on prospects whenever you want. You want people to talk to? Turn on your story. One great story can last you for months, even years. How many people just had a huge light bulb moment? Just give me like a huge wow or light bulb over in the comments. I mean, let me know if this is like hitting you, what the possibility is here, and that you don't even need a website, that you can just like have these people coming right to you in direct messaging, not having to reach out, not having to like open conversations with people that comment or any of that stuff. I see wow, amazing, mind blown, yes, cool. So the next step is you've got to know your numbers. And when I say know your numbers, we're talking about third grade math here. Here's what you want to ask yourself. What is it that you're going to sell? How much do you make off of that sale? Okay, so if you make 20 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks, whatever it is, what do you make off the initial sale? Our example for easy math is going to be $100 because actually my buddy Pedro, who's in some of the examples here, he sold something that he made $100 a month on. And the question I asked him was, how long do your customers on average stay on for? And in that case, it was 3 months. So we have to understand that a customer can have a lifetime value. So if we make $100 up front on the sale, but the average customer stays on for 3 months, we get paid every month, well, then the average customer is worth $300 overall. That's the implied commissions, okay? Then you need to figure out, after you get a little experience, communicating with the people messaging you, is how many messages does it take to make a sale? Example, if it takes 10 messages to make one sale, then basically at $10 a message, you're at break even. So you just got to get the calculator out. You take an educated guess at the beginning, and then you actually get real numbers and you plug them in, and you go, okay, looks like it takes me X amount of dollars is my break even point on messages. Now, if you have somebody that you make recurring commissions off of, and you're able to break even on the initial purchase, it's like you're able to get paid, you're able to get your ad money back and get a customer, and then the rest is gravy, man, you're in good shape. Now, what if you can get less than break even, then it's like you're buying money, you're putting $1 in and you're getting more out. I mean, how many dollars would you put in? What if you got $1.20 messages? How would things change? Well, we know that that's possible. See, in that case, life really changes, because even if you're on a shoestring budget, or even if you haven't had a flow of prospects before, you can now, if you're in Pedro's situation, you can now trade a Venti pumpkin spice latte every day, or the little luxury purchases, or the consumption purchases that we make, and they exist in all our lives. It might not be Starbucks, but we all have them. We can trade in something like that and instead have 5 high quality prospects reaching out to us each and every day. How much of a life changer is that going to be over time? See, what happens when you do that is you get to step 5, which is to grow your business fast. You test your ads, you see what works and what doesn't work, and you keep getting better results. I want you to imagine the compounding penny. How many of you have heard that if you double a penny over 30 days, right, that you have, it's well over $1 million you have after just 30 days. But interestingly, I mean, if you double it for a day, it's only 2 cents. 2 days, it's only 4 cents. You know, 3 days, it's only 8 cents. 4 days, it's only 16 cents. 16 cents doesn't seem like a lot, but you're on your way to that million, right? So now I want you to imagine that you put a little money aside and you put it in ads. You take a really modest amount, but after you make your couple of, you know, your money back on that, you take a little more from that and you put it in. And then it's a little more back and you take a little more from that and you put it in. And it's like your compounding penny. Maybe at, you know, at the 8th time or the 10th time, it doesn't seem like much, but by the 30th time, it's game changing, right? At that point, you get to watch your business grow and reach new, previously unthinkable heights. See, I started with this. This is actually the very picture that started the whole social testimonial profit strategy. I had to sell someone else's product that I hadn't really experienced, but I knew people were getting amazing results with it. And I knew it could help people, but I didn't have time to kind of experience it myself. So I wrote a story of what a person showed me about how it was helping other people, generated 1,300 leads and ended up getting me a 300% ROI. And I said, oh my God, this is amazing. I can just use these stories. Now I've got to get out there and master this. And so I just kept doing it, just kept putting it back in, parlaying it back in, putting it back in. You know, then I started generating tons of leads and I was making, you know, I was making serious money, starting to make, you know, 5 figures plus in you know, single promotions, winning vacation trips. And then of course I shared with you that I was able to make $254,000 in just 13 days. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish. You just got to keep dialing it in and dialing it in, dialing it in. And to give you an idea of how monumental some of the results can be based on what I teach inside Social Testimonial Profits and based on using this profits framework to communicate with and then distributing it properly. Kathy Schneider and Jordan Maley, the Freedom Boss Babes, I helped them craft their first ever profits post at a high level mastermind, and they did over $300,000 in sales in just 10 months. Todd Getz and his wife, Leah, they went through this course and they were actually paying somebody to do their advertising. They were paying somebody $20,000 a month to do their advertising. And that person couldn't beat the ads that they were running that they learned inside Social Testimonial Profits. So they were able to take what they learned and scale their own business up to over $100,000 a month. You know, and they said, I can't think of any other training program we've purchased that's given us such an incredible return on investment. My bud, how many of you guys know Cesar Rodriguez? Any of you guys know Cesar Rodriguez? 7-figure closing and sales and closing rock star. Okay. You know, and he says, Justice has been my go-to guy for copywriting. He's the copywriting genius behind some of my most successful digital marketing campaigns. He says some of the story posts using Social Testimonial Profits have made over 6 figures in profits and are still making sales today. So whether it's a beginner or whether you're a beginner or a seasoned business owner, this strategy is the fastest way to get same-day prospects reaching out, okay? And it's all about using the profits framework to communicate differently so that you rise above the noise and actually appeal to the desires of the person you want to work with. Do you see now how anyone with any results on any budget can actually use my Social Testimonial Profit strategy to generate leads and sales overnight? I'm just curious, go on down in the comments, let me know if you can see, if you've made the shift, if your mind is open, if you can see the possibility. Now, I'm also curious, have you gotten value so far? I mean, up to this point, have you received a good deal of value from what I've shared with you? Do you feel like you have a clear path to the result? Now, what I want to do is I want to answer your questions, okay? I'm going to get to those in just a moment. Ron and I are going to do a little Q&A. I'm going to answer any of those questions that you have in just a few minutes. So don't put them in now, because then they're just going to get lost in the chat feed. I want you to put them in momentarily. But I've got questions for you first, okay? Just a couple of questions. How would your business be different if you traded in the morning latte for just 5 red hot prospects every day? What would it feel like to hit personal sales or income goals within the next 30 days, exerting the same or even less effort? No hours upon hours of prospecting, no lame objections, no blogging or video creation, just a steady and predictable stream of prospects coming your way every single day. while you're at work, while you're spending time with your friends and family, even while you're sleeping. What would life look like a year from now if that were the case? Now, I'm not sure why you're here tonight, right? You may be here just because you like, you love education, you love to fill your mind, but maybe you don't want to go out there and take action. You might be here, you might be someone who's just kind of testing out the waters of business, and maybe you're not 100% committed to taking it to the next level. You might be somebody who's already crushing it and you've got more leads and sales than you can handle. If all of that's the case, so be it, rock on, okay? But it's possible that you are somebody who's like, you're taking this thing to the top, but you might not know exactly how you're getting there. Maybe you're doing it, you're giving it your all, but you're just not getting the engagement you want, or you go through a bunch of training, but you feel like you just don't have a good enough plan to implement it, or it just feels incomplete and you feel like you're missing something. Well, if that's you and you're serious about taking your business to the next level, well, you know that I can only share so much in a single night on this webinar. And so what I want to do before I get to your questions is I want to ask you, who on here would like to be one of the next success stories in Social Testimonial Profits? Because I'd like to introduce you to it. I want to tell you what's inside it. I want to give you a very, very, very special opportunity to today only some of these things to see if you think this is a fit for you and you want to join the new, improved, and revised edition of Social Testimonial Profits, which we're opening up on a special right now in a very limited time window. Now in module 1, oh, my slides went nuts on me there. In module 1, you're going to learn all about how to identify that perfect prospect. I'm going to give you all the questions you need to ask yourself so that it doesn't take a lot of time and that you don't miss anything. I'm going to teach you exactly where to do the research, where these perfect prospects are actually giving you all the information you need. They're speaking their language back to you, and there's some really good gold mines online where you can find this information. I'm going to walk you through exercises so that you figure out what their hot buttons are, what the language is, and everything you need to know to write the story that appeals to them so that you can attract the person that doesn't give you objections. You can attract the person that wants to work with you. You can attract the person that's got credit card in hand, that already has the money, and that's super excited to do business with you no matter what your product or service is. This is a $297 value. Here's what people said after module 1. Module 1 was well worth the price. David says, I've just gone through module 1 alone, and I've gotten enough value to pay for this whole program twice over. Very satisfied. Starzy says, I'm absolutely blown away by module 1. How many times have you ever felt like that after just one module of a course, right? Module 2 is story selling secrets. This is where I teach you my profits framework. I teach you how to craft stories within the boundaries of the frameworks I provide. So it doesn't really matter if you're a writer or not. You can use these frameworks to put together what you need to put together. I also teach you some of the most powerful influence secrets in here. This is where I give you the ability to move people, to move the masses, to actually get people in action. And I'm going to trust that you're going to use this information wisely and ethically, because it really is an unfair advantage. Now, once you get through this module, you're going to have this post that you can put out there and distribute to get the people reaching out to you, okay? You're going to rise above the noise. They're going to see you. They're going to immediately think, when you write it right, they're going to immediately think that, man, I'm so glad I found this person. This is exactly what I've been looking for. This is the person that's got the solution to my problems. Here's what people say after module 2. This was what's been missing in my marketing. Best training course I've invested in a long time. So much gold. Module 3, we now teach you how to take that testimonial and distribute it, get it out there in front of everybody, the masses, thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of the right people, and how to put it into Facebook's hands the right way so that they can start busting through the people that aren't your right people and immediately finding the people that are. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. There's a lot of different places that people hang out online, ways to find people that resemble your perfect prospect so that you can get that story of result in front of them. I'm going to show you all the different ways. I'm going to show you how to navigate Facebook. I'm going to show you how to run all the different types of ads that Facebook, that you can possibly get a result with here. So you may have multiple stories going out there that are raking in different leads from different places in all different directions. This is what happens. You start getting results. 3 screen shares in the first 36 hours, 3 more info comments, already setting up Skype calls. In fact, I even have a client who is using this organically in groups, not running a dime on paid ads, who's getting between 1 and 200 people responding every time she posts in a group. She actually has to stop posting sometimes because she's like, I only post like once in a while because I get so many responses. It takes me forever to get with everybody. Now, what I did with is I asked her to come on and do a training with me on how to use these posts in groups organically. So Scott, who said on here like, oh, I really can't advertise. Well, guess what? This training will teach you kind of how she goes about creating frenzies in these groups. In fact, she went from being a nobody 3 months ago, literally not even having an online presence, to building a rabid fan base, to then generating over 1,000 leads. And then she just launched a podcast that went number 3 in Canada in business, in between like Tim Ferriss and Gary Vee. And she's never done any of this stuff before. She tells you how she does it in this video. Okay. Module 4 is Profit Maximizer Blueprint. This is where we help you know your numbers, where we show you what to turn on, you know, what to keep off, what to turn off, and what to put the gasoline on so that you can scale and scale and scale and scale, put $1 in, get the 2 out, and then 5 in, and then get 10 out, and so on and so forth. This is everything you need to know to do that so that you can grow your business predictably. So you can say tomorrow, I know that I'm going to wake up to between this many people and this many people. I'm going to set this time aside that day, and I'm going to start closing sales and doing business. And here's what happens. This course paid for itself for the first time ever, making 1 to 2 sales per day. It's skyrocketing my business. Bought many courses. This one finally delivered. You're also going to get the ultimate avatar worksheet, which is a fill in the blank worksheet that's going to save you tons of time and get you really dialed in on the language of your perfect prospect. You're going to get my 3 best story swipes ever. These are my best producers ever. The story that made $80,000 is inside here. Okay, so you never get writer's block. You've got proven stories to turn to use as examples. You're going to get a guide to go through the course so that you focus on exactly what you need to get everything checked off the list to be able to get your stories ads up right the first time. You're going to get the ultimate list of power words so that you can switch out the words in your story, put in words that pack a punch so that you can cut through the noise and grab attention right away. You're going to get the fill in the blank power statements. If you like those fill in the blank things that I talked about up there, you know, with the bikini story, if you love that, you're going to love this because these are the best pieces of my stories, all my little marketing moves where I made fill in the blank statements that you can take the info right off your avatar worksheet, plug it into these statements, and now it's almost like I'm writing your story for you. So what does it include? You get all 4 modules where you figure out your perfect prospect so you know exactly how to speak to a person you want to do business with, story selling secrets where you get the right framework to attract people, testimonial deployment where you get it out in front of tens of thousands, and Profit Maximizer Blueprint where you start predictably producing results. Then you fill in the blank to get your avatar right. I give you my best stories ever. You got the cheat sheet to save time. You got the power words to stand out, and you got the fill in the blank power statement so that I help you write the perfect story. Total value $1,550. And I've just got to ask you, would it be worth $1,550 if all this did was forever have just 5 highly qualified prospects per week coming your way to talk to? I mean, that's less than 1 per day, and that's all it did. Think about it. If you had just over like 1 every day to day and a half, and that happened every single day and a half for the next year, how would your business change? Wouldn't it be worth $1,550 today? What if all this did was help you predictably make an extra 1 to 2 sales per week for good? I mean, Mike Lapatina did 1 to 2 sales per day. Can you do 1 to 2 sales per week for good? And what would happen a month from now or a year from now? And would it be worth $1,500? What if you were able to scale up and 5 times, even 10 times your initial business? Okay, like so many people that you saw in here. Well, listen, I know that it would be worth it and I could easily charge it, but we're doing something really special here and you're not going to pay $1,550. In fact, you're not even going to pay $1,000. You're not going to pay $500. Social Testimonial Profits sells on my website for $497. And people happily buy it. They've happily bought it for a while. You can go there and buy it right now for $497 if you want. But right now, during this special promotion, you can actually get in and for just 3 payments of $117, 30 days apart. You could get in for just $117 today and then 2 more payments 30 days apart. Or you can save a full $200 off my website price and make a single payment of $297. And all you have to do is go to ChristCenteredCoaching.com/social buy. Now, for those of you who are a little on the fence and you're like, man, this seems awesome, but Justice, I'm meeting you for the first time. Here's what I want to do. I want to give you a satisfaction guarantee so I can take the risk off you and I can put it on me. The only thing I ask is that you give me a fair chance to drastically change your business. I mean, doesn't that make sense? You want to give me a chance to change your business, right? What's the point of buying today? What's the point of jumping in? What's the point of doing any of that if you don't want to actually go get the results? So what I want you to do is I want you to go through the 4 modules of the course, okay? And if you are not totally satisfied, if you don't feel it's worth every penny, then just reach out within 30 days and we will issue a refund. Go to ChristCenteredCoaching.com/social buy. Now you're going to want to grab it now because there's actually some fast action bonuses that you're going to be pretty blown away by. I told you that I shared this at, and this is fast action bonus number 1 actually. I told you I shared this at Ray Higdon's mastermind, at the top earner mastermind, that people paid tens of thousands of dollars to be in this room. Well, if you ever want to know what it looks like behind the closed doors of a high level elite mastermind, you're going to know, because I did an amazing storytelling training in here called my Mr. Miyagi training. And I asked Ray if he would give me the hour and a half or plus recording, and he did. And nobody has this online. You're going to get it right here if you're one of the first 10 buyers. So you absolutely want to go over there now, and you can follow along, on the audio, because I've got some more stuff for you that you're going to be blown away by, but you definitely want to go over and get in now. Now, if you buy by midnight Pacific time tonight, you're going to get what I call the persuasion advantage. If you've ever wanted to be more persuasive, if you've ever wanted to know how to up your social media posts, your webinar game, any communication, any email, all these different ways to move people into groups, to get people promoting you, to get more shares, I've got it all in here. Plus it's shown over examples, so it's really easy to implement in your business. It's not just theory. You can take those examples. It's only going to take 1 or 2 of them to have a drastic effect on your business. A $297 value. If you buy by midnight Pacific tonight, you're going to get this. But I wanted to condense time and help you get people reaching out in your inbox, direct messaging you, the hottest prospects. I wanted to make it happen right away. So obviously, one of the big things here is to write a story. I'm going to give you my story review vault, where I review different stories from different niches. You get to watch over my shoulder and get into my brain so that you understand exactly how to write an effective story the first time. I'm also going to give you my copywriting clinic. In here, I'm going to teach you the secrets to communicating and writing in a way that moves masses. Your business will change when you start moving lots of people at a time. I love to use Messenger and live streams to generate leads. And some of you are already doing live streams. Very, very powerful way to generate traffic and leads. So in here, I've got live stream profits where you can see exactly how I do that. Now, a lot of people said, Justice, can you use videos? Can you use the profits framework in videos? And I said, certainly. I mean, if you want to tell the story that way in videos, you absolutely can. So I'm going to bring my bud Mark Harbert out here and show you how to push those videos out via ads. And Mark Harbert is one of the best video marketers out there. Now, once people are messaging you, you're going to want to close sales. So I took my buddy who closes sales like nobody's business through Messenger. In fact, he does it all with the audio feature, and he's got a $1 million per year business now doing it. And I asked him to train you on how he closes sales using the audio feature in Messenger. Now, other people are going to be commenting on your posts. So I brought my buddy Antonio over to teach you specifically how to steer those comments, how to turn those comments into customers in your business. I also wanted you to have support and guidance and be able to get feedback from other people and from myself. So we've opened up the Social Testimonial Profits private Facebook group for you. This is customer only, where you can mastermind, where you can ask questions, where you can get feedback. You're going to want feedback along the way so that you can get results as fast as possible. That'll happen inside this group. And then lastly, you obviously want to stay out of trouble or in Facebook's good graces. So I went to my Facebook go-to guy. I mean, people come to me for Facebook stuff. I go to this guy for Facebook stuff. And I had him sit down and I interviewed him to share with you, what Facebook's really looking for and how to stay in their good graces. $197 value on top of all the other valuable bonuses. So fast action takers that go over right now are going to get Ray Higdon, the private Ray Higdon recording, where you learn how to write great stories and see inside a private high-level mastermind. The other people, if you get in before midnight tonight, you're going to learn how to all the different types of persuasive marketing moves and posts that'll get you more engagement and really get you the attention you want. Then I'm going to teach you how to move the masses, how language will help you move the masses. You're going to see how to write stories, get inside my head. You're going to understand how to generate leads with live stream, get video ads out there that generate your leads, close more sales through Messenger, turn comments into more sales, get support in the Facebook group, and avoid Facebook penalties and stay in their wonderful good graces. New value, $3,810. You can get in today over at ChristCenteredCoaching.com/social buy for just 3 payments of $117, or save $200 off my website price and make just a payment of $297. But you know that I love to use webinars, and I love to drive people from this strategy into webinars. And you may or may not be doing webinars, but they are the single best way to sell or recruit in bulk online. And even if you don't feel like that's part of your business model right now, or you're not, you don't feel comfortable doing it right now, that's okay. What I want to do is I want to give you a course that sells on my website for $297. This is ultimately a twofer. Okay, that it's like an eighth for really, but that teaches you step by step how to use webinars to sell, to recruit, whatever you want. There's templates and frameworks in there. I teach you how to come up with the topics. So I want you to put this on the shelf if you're not ready for it now, but you have it when you're ready and you want to use social testimonial profits to start growing your list like crazy and turning total strangers into sales on webinars and even automated webinars. So now you get the mega bonus, which sells on my website for $297, which brings us over $4,000 in value. And you can get in for just 3 payments of $117 today, or the one-time payment. Now, what's really cool is Ron said that he was going to do some things as well. And then he sent this over to me about 20 minutes before we went live. And I went, oh my God, I cannot believe Ron is doing all this stuff. This is going to be the single best purchase anybody makes all year long. So Ron, maybe you want to come out, and I think you can unmute yourself and we can come over and you can share what exactly you're doing.
Absolutely. Can you hear me, Justice?
I absolutely can.
Okay, great. So guys, I'm pretty excited, so I'm going to try to calm down. But Social Media Recruiting Mastery, this is one of my flagship courses. I've personally sponsored over 400 people into home businesses, network marketing, and inside of this course, it teaches you everything I do on Facebook. If you're interested in getting those kind of results and duplicating it inside of your business, inside of your team, you're going to want to watch the second bonus. Here it's at a $397 value. It's an interview with one of my top recruiters on my team. He actually he personally sponsored 100 reps in 30 days. That was a pretty nice payday. So you're gonna get that interview and learn exactly what he did. And when I first learned this strategy from Justice in 2017, and I wanted to add something that would really complement the storytelling. And I put in my social media recruiting script book. It's $77 value. These are 17 pages of word for word scripts that you can use, whether you're a coach, you're in network marketing, you're a regular business owner, and work them into the messenger part that Justice is talking about and really start recruiting regularly. So this is a great resource for you, $77 value. Justice, can you go to the next one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, very cool. So like I mentioned before, Justice is a personal friend of mine. He used to live down the road from me. So I learned the strategy from him 3 years ago. And one of the things I've gotten pretty good at is writing some story ads myself and getting cheap cost per leads, and it works for me. So one of the things we're going to do is you're going to actually have a coaching session with me personally. Well, we'll work your story ads, we'll work your languaging, your funnel, all that kind of stuff to make sure it works. So I am deeply discounting myself and my time. That's a $750 value there. For those of you that are professionals, coaches, I added the Christian Coaching Script Book. This is exactly what I say to enroll high ticket clients. If those of you that are selling products that are at least $2,000 or more, you want to use this script book and help you close those high tickets. And then lastly, the Perfect Prospect Creation Training. Justice does have some stuff here. He has an avatar training. I think this will really complement it. Similar content, slightly different perspective. So we're adding all of that in for those of you that buy on the webinar.
Unbelievable. Freaking, I had no idea you were going to do that much, Ron. What an amazing opportunity for the people that are on here. So a couple more just feedback so you can understand the level of value you'll find inside Social Testimonial Profits. Doug Allison says the Social Testimonial Profits course has been by far the best course that I've ever purchased over the last year and possibly ever. Gil says, hands down, this is the best course when it comes to Facebook ads. And no, it's not the first one I purchased. Jessica says, absolutely worth every penny and hour spent. Justice Egan, you've gone above and beyond what I expected to get out of this course. Mark Harpert says, listen, Justice blew my mind when he showed me this stuff. If you want to learn how to get leads, he's your guy. Ray Higdon says, Justice is talented and trustworthy. He'll do everything he can to get you to the next level. So what I want to do is I want to do some Q&A while you have an opportunity to go over to christcenteredcoaching.com/social buy. And as we're doing the Q&A, I'll just show you real quick. And come on down with your questions, guys. I'll show you what the page should look like when you get there. And this will give you a chance to add any questions if you have them. Those questions can be on marketing. They can be on, on the course. You tell me. So this is what this is what it's going to look like when you get over there. And what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down and you'll see these buy now buttons. And if you're kind of on the fence, I highly recommend you come over and you remind yourself of everything you get and you hear what people have to say. I want you to look at all the feedback from people and the crazy results that they've gotten and what's possible for you. I mean, when you see some of the Facebook stuff here, and I absolutely love one of them down here, like look at all this different feedback. I mean, there's so many testimonials, but I love this when he says, thank you, Justice. What a great training. I find Dan Kennedy, Frank Kern, Ray Higdon, and other sources of knowledge already made a unique, easy to use composition with your own wisdom. What counts most is it's easy to the point, can be implemented right away. Wish all trainings were like this, but there you go. More than 200,000 invested in training so far, and then social testimonial profits comes along. So this guy is saying like, this could have saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? And then way, way, way more. I mean, it's endless. And these aren't even all we have, okay? So head on over, all right? Grab your copy and take advantage of the fast action bonuses, and let me know what your questions are if you have any. Head on down in the questions box now. Any thoughts, Ron?
Yeah, I wanted to share with a lot of you guys who follow me and who are on the email list on this training right now. A lot of you guys integrate your faith into what you do, connect your passion and your purpose to this. And I really believe that telling stories is a way to really connect with people faster than traditional calls to action of enter your name here, book here, buy this. Really, I think people are becoming desensitized to the constant barrage of advertisements out there. So your strategy of making it look like an organic Facebook post and just telling a story, I think is really doable for anyone, whether you're experienced and been doing this for a while or you're brand new. Because I didn't know how to do this when you first introduced it. I just followed your template, like pretty much word for word, and I filled in the blank and I made my own stories just like that. So if you're a coach, a networker, an affiliate, a traditional business owner, I really feel that this strategy is so versatile that you can use it across a variety of business applications. So I would encourage you guys to take advantage of all these bonuses. I don't give this combination of bonuses or this stuff out very often. I know Justice, the last time he shared this training, like I said, was 2017 is when it came out, and we're just bringing it back now, updated and whatnot. So I would head over to ChristCenteredCoaching.com/social buy.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story about something that happened in the Facebook group, which was amazing. There was a free video series that went out. We've got some people in a Facebook group that are like writing their first profits posts and putting them in and trying to get some feedback. And so, just yesterday I go in there and there's somebody who wrote a profits post and they used someone else's picture and someone else's story, so it wasn't their result. And I actually know this person, and they really haven't. They've been at it for years online and really haven't been able to create results. Okay. And so here they are, they go in the Facebook group and I see all these people commenting to them saying, send me the link, more info, give me this information. I want on his post. And I said to him, hey, you really can't promote your stuff in here. And he said, Justice, I just wanted feedback on my post. I'm totally shocked that people are responding, right? See, what happened is when you use what I teach you, people are going to be frenzied. They're going to jump at you and you're not going to really even understand why. You're going to go, oh my God, what just happened? One of the women that jumped in the other night, she teaches she's got some self-defense material, and I brought her out and I said, what was the reason you bought? And she said, Justice, the reason I bought is because I went through a couple of training videos where I taught some basic stuff, and she goes, and I used what you taught me and I crafted a post based off of it. And I was sitting with my husband, watching some TV, and I said, oh my God, look at this. This post is getting more views and engagement and people asking questions and responding than anything I've ever posted. Imagine what I'll learn if I'm inside the course. So that I mean, I want you to imagine having that experience where it's like all of a sudden you're actually getting the engagement. All of a sudden you are actually getting people reaching out. All of a sudden you're actually experiencing, what you haven't experienced, better results than you have in the past. And you might not even know exactly why, but it's all because you followed my frameworks and instructions, creating this, these posts.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree with what you're saying. I think the thing that is really cool about this strategy is that you don't need to have any personal results or experience yourself. You can share the ones that are in your company or from a buddy of yours, and it's something that you can really leverage. So if you're brand new day one, that'll work for you. I still can't believe that's a great story. I think that's hilarious. So he was looking for feedback on his story posts that he made following your templates. And instead of people giving him feedback, they wanted what he was offering.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Well, listen, I mean, I super appreciate everybody's come out here today. I appreciate you taking the time hanging on with us this long. I mean, we've still got more than half our audience on right now, over an hour and 40 minutes later. I hope you got tons and tons and tons of value. And the reality is there's still a few of the fast action bonuses left. So I highly recommend you go over there ASAP and grab this wall. You can take advantage of those fast action bonuses because they're super, super powerful. Other than that, Ron, you got any closing thoughts, bud?
I'll leave it with this, guys. If you believe that you have a business and you're here to impact people, to help people, to get paid really well to do it, and you haven't had the results, I want to ask you this question. How long have you been waiting? How long have you been waiting to get the results that your business needs to create the flexibility in your time to grow your income? I think we get to a point where we're sick and tired of not having the results. And if you're willing to suspend your disbelief and try a new strategy again, I think you'll have results. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And Justice's strategy has helped me get back up as well. So Justice, thank you so much for doing this encore training for my people. I know this was an extra one. So I really appreciate your time. I know everybody loved this tonight too.
Yeah, man, it was my pleasure to be out here. Super honored to come out and train your people. I hope everybody gets out there and implements. I highly encourage you to do. And for those of you that dive in, I'm super excited for you. I cannot wait to see you on the inside. If you still need to get in, take a quick screenshot of this link because I'm going to close down the window and then you're not going to see it. And it's going to, this offer does expire very soon, but you got some fast action bonuses on here tonight or today that you can take care of right away. So appreciate you guys. Have an amazing time and we'll see you on the inside.